everyone. Thank you for joining us today on Nigeria Today Live and on this segment, Tech and Gadget Corner. My name is Olusegun Olabode Ajakai, and thank you also for joining me today on Galaxy TV. One interesting topic we would like to also talk about today is with respect to social media use and social media abuse, and how we need to, as individuals, as Nigerians, and as youths, as adults, the need for us to be abreast of certain information we share in the public. And if you will agree with me that social media is now part of our everyday life, it has become part of our daily activity. People take time to spend time on social media, either on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, or WhatsApp, which is one of the most widely used platform here, even in Nigeria. And the interesting thing about it is that people sometimes get carried away with information they share in the public, especially when we're talking about conversations around data privacy. They need to be abreast that information you share in the public can actually be used against you. And it's important for us to be able to know that as individuals, we need to be abreast of all this information. We need to be able to protect our data. I was telling someone just recently with respect to, imagine you have a house and just from your gate, you don't have a padlock, or you don't even have a jam lock, or you don't even have a security guard who is watching over your house or your personal effects. How comfortable will you be as an individual? Imagine you're sleeping and someone peeps through the window to take that your sensitive device or your phone or your gadgets just because you didn't protect your home. Now, the more reason why we need to be able to protect our information in the public space. We need to protect our data. We need to protect our pictures. We need to protect several information which we have out there. I'm sure you will agree with me that you've seen some videos in the public where probably someone went to repair their phone, and in the rest of trying to fix their phone, someone get access to their phone, and in a way they try to exploit them and takes advantage of them. Now, it's important for us to be able to protect our information wherever it sits, either on your phone or your laptop or on your gadgets across all levels, because at the end of the day, right, people are watching. If you're on social media, be careful of the information you share, especially when it relates to your personal information. And at the end of the day, because if you're not careful, someone can use certain information you share out there to be able to use it against you, because you can't, there are some information, once it's pushed out there, even if you try to delete it, someone will get access to it. And it's a very, very important information you need to protect, you need to keep, because at the end of the day, right, the information, anywhere it is being kept or siloed or being kept or being protected, you need to take conscious effort around how can you secure that information so that a third party, anybody who is maybe even your friend, will not have access to it. And the more reason why I also always advise, before you click any information out there, or before you click any information on your phone, you must be able to ask several questions around, is that place where you are sharing that information, is it a place that should warehouse your sensitive data? For those who also try to make some purchases online as well too, do you also take cognizance around, is that platform where you're trying to make those purchases a protected environment? Now, there's a particular pane on the website where you can actually check if the website is a secured website. So if you take cognizance of those information, it helps you to stay abreast of how can you protect either your card details, your personal name, your personal information, which is maybe your date of birth, or some information that requires that you should be aware of. Now, at the end of the day, right, guess what? Imagine there's a message you see and someone asks you to probably provide your maiden name. Do you know that some people, probably unconsciously to them, they've shared the same information, or maybe on Twitter or on WhatsApp to someone, or probably on Facebook, maybe a Facebook group chat. But at the end of the day, when you take cognizance of how can you protect your data wherever it sits, you are careful of what you need to share. And if you don't know the person, if you don't even understand their identity, we must be very careful around how can I protect my information, because a third party should not have access to your device. A third party should not have access to your personal information. And at the end of the day, there are dangers of, exposing ourselves out there in the public. We've seen several situations of social media abuse. We've seen several situations of cyberbullying and harassment as well. So at the end of the day, Now, people can use those information against you. So, my advice to everyone listening to us today is let's try as much as possible to be careful of information we push out there. Let's not abuse the use of social media. Protect your data. Learn and try to educate yourself around data privacy. Like I always say, think before you act. Think before you click. Think before you share. And also, this is also an advice for people who are also involved with cyberbullying and harassment across social media platforms. Let's understand that people, for every content you see out there, there are people behind, the scene. Let's try as much as possible to disengage ourselves from any form of social media cyberbullying and harassment. Because at the end of the day, right, we must take conscious effort around how can we protect ourselves as individuals. Because the bottom line or the crux of the matter is we need to try as much as possible not to harass anyone. Yes, so let's try as much as possible to take cognizant effort around or conscious effort around how can we protect ourselves, protect our information, protect your personal effects, either your images or whatever it is. Because at the end of the day, right, there are people out there who can also impersonate you. One thing I also say, and I always say is this, right? Anywhere your data sits, try as much as possible to do a reassessment of your passwords. For instance, if you either using a Google or a Gmail account or whatever email account you're using, if you save your password on a particular device, let's try as much as possible to go back again to do like a review of all your passwords. Now, for those who are Google Gmail users, if you go to settings on Google, if you're accessing your email from your laptop, go to settings, you see passwords. All the passwords you've saved on that particular device, you'll see have a list of all the passwords. Now you can actually get access to see compromised passwords or compromised information within that platform. So let's try as much as possible to take conscious effort around how can we assess the passwords we've pushed out there, which password has been compromised, and anywhere your password sits. Let's try as much as possible if we can change those passwords and update our information so that we are abreast of protecting our information and protecting our data wherever it sits. Thank you for watching us today. I hope that you will join us same time during the next segment. Thank you all for joining, and we look forward to having you watch us. Feel free to comment or drop a comment around how you engage, or if you've been engaged within or had any altercation with respect to cyberbullying, or you've had a personal story or a personal issue around how your data was exposed within the social media space. Follow us live on Galaxy TV and watch us across all our social media platforms at Galaxy TV. My name once again is Olusegun Olabode Ajakai. Follow me on LinkedIn and on Twitter at Bode of Lagos. Thank you for watching us today. Do have a wonderful day. Bye.